Well, we have discussed on Washington Watch this week, there is a substantial and necessary bipartisan effort to block TikTok. Let's just put it that way. I mean, here we have an app that there are serious concerns about the Chinese Communist Party and their control of the platform. But there is something underneath, an undercurrent that you need to be aware of. It's not all about just TikTok. There is a current bill that is being considered to ban TikTok, if you will, but it would also give federal agents full authority to monitor internet access and cell phones without a warrant. It's called the Restrict Act. But there are a lot of other names being called for this. The Big Brother 2.0 Act, the Patriot Act 2.0. There's a lot of names for this thing. It's dangerous. It's frightening. Joining me now to discuss this is fellow Georgian and Brigadier General Blaine Holt. He is an Air Force veteran, NATO Deputy C-17 Commander, a tech entrepreneur. He's a senior Newsmax contributor and the co-founder of Restore Liberty. General Holt, welcome to Washington Watch. It's an honor to have you, sir.
Jody, it's an absolute pleasure to be with you, and a pleasure to be with you on Newsmax the other day as well.
Well, that's right. We had the good privilege to be together discussing this very issue. And, you know, I referred to it as the Patriot Act 2.0. You go a whole lot further than that. You have actually termed this bill, the Restrict Act, the End of America Act. All right. So go on that. Why is this so dangerous?
Yeah, so 2.0 is a good starting point, but it implies that this is an incremental problem for our liberty, where the Patriot Act greatly restricted American liberties, how we move, what we do, what we say, and when people can surveil us. Well, now they're taking a problem, which is TikTok, a very valid problem, and they put a line out there that would take TikTok out of American society, and that's fine. And then we get to a Patriot Act on steroids, and so it's not incremental, it's actually exponential. And what I mean by that is the electronic invasiveness means that Big Brother or the federal government can then, anytime it wants, go and spy on and have its AIs spy on your social media, what you say, what you do, your banking records, whether or not you have a virtual private network, criminalizing you if you have a virtual private network, blasting right through your Fourth Amendment rights, your First Amendment rights, your Fifth Amendment rights, and they're not playing around with this. And they think that they have a right to do this. It's completely against the Constitution, but that didn't stop them at the Patriot Act either. And it's really time to start holding these folks accountable. The federal government, this is just a symptom of the federal government getting far too big for all of us. And we really need to now wake up and take charge here. And it's just so alarming that Republicans are getting into this.
Yeah, we really do. And, you know, especially at a time where we are watching, General, we are watching a two-tiered system develop of justice in our country. We're watching just this past week evidence come forth that the FBI has literally sent informants into churches to recruit informants to try to identify supposed domestic terrorists. And isn't at the end of the day what this is all about for these federal agencies to be allowed to spy on Americans in search of supposed domestic terrorism, but they get to define the terms. There's no warrant, there's no recourse, there's no due process. They could just more or less say, we got you, and you're in trouble. Am I understanding it correctly?
No, that's completely correct. And what they'll do is they will chill speech and they will create fear in this country like we've never seen before. But we've seen this play out right before our very eyes. If you look at the case of President Trump and Mar-a-Lago, you'll see combat-laden FBI people blasting through doors and big theatrical moments. Whereas in the case of the sitting president, for stuff that he did while he was vice president, you see a very gentlemanly approach of, well, maybe your attorneys could bring that over to us. And it just cascades from there down. But now it's coming to Main Street. Now it's coming to a place where the federal government feels it's entitled to go into your bank records without a warrant, without even probable cause. And if you think bad thoughts on social media, you better watch out because we're coming for you.
Yeah, listen, and our time is running, getting thin here, but I have here in my hand a list of the senators who have signed on to this thing, 25 of them, and the horrifying part to me is half of these are Republicans. So what's your message to Republican lawmakers who are seemingly supporting this?
Yeah, we're already seeing the uniparty is a real concept, and America really doesn't identify with either party. They're just sick of D.C. And to watch the Republicans who say they're the adults in the room sign on for this means they either didn't read the bill, which Lindsey Graham already admitted to, or they're signing on for this and they think this is constitutional, and that's even more scary. And I just hope that those folks will at least come to their senses and take themselves out of this nonsense.
Well, we've got to be informed, and we've got to encourage people to get involved. In about 15 seconds or so, what would you say to people in terms of what can they do to help with this situation?
The first thing you need to do is you need to go melt your switchboard of your elected representatives. You need to be on the phone every day to your representative or your senators, and really in an annoying way to say, we're not letting this pass. We in Main Street, we're done with this assault on our constitutional rights. We're not going to have it anymore.
General Holt, thank you so much for your leadership on not only this, so many areas, but thank you for your lead in this, and thanks for joining us on Washington Watch this evening.